Greetings, greetings. Welcome to Tanesia's Locks, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri. I'm going to be playing with my hair today while I'm doing this video. You all have made comments over time, and maybe you want to see these locks as I'm doing my thing. Welcome to this channel, all of you beautiful souls who are holding space right now to just listen to me as I talk a little bit today about some of the disadvantages of having long locks. Now, we all want abundant hair. We want free flowing, full heads of healthy hair. And that is one of the beauties of supporting your natural hair care journey, is that you take away much of what can break our hair down. But there are also other challenges that come with this journey. In particular, when you have Microlocks or Sisterlocks, there is always more than meets the eye. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this video. If you are new, I'm so glad you knocked on this door today. And if you are returning home, welcome back, beautiful soul. So now, I've had my locks for a little over 10 years, okay? It's been a beautiful journey. I have learned a lot. I have gone through a lot with my locks. Technically, they should be inches longer. I attribute that to the OCD picking of the cotton that I've always picked. I've lost a few, maybe halves of locks from doing that, or 2 or 3 inches off the bottom over the years. But it was an OCD thing. So clearly I wasn't in balance while I was doing it. My locks would be a lot longer, but just so that you get an idea of the length, I'm just going to kind of stand up. First, I'm going to cover up this fat rack I have around my back. I got these love handles. I'm just joking, but I'm not joking. But I'm going to kind of give you a sense of the length of the longest area of my hair, which is the bottom. And you would expect that to be, because that's the lowest on my head. I got some pieces up here that are long as well. I probably lost a little, I lost a little bit on this lock. I can already tell because of this thing here. I had some thinning there, so that was a little bit of repair that I did. And I need to actually hold on to this, because I'm going to have to do a video about that repair, maybe tomorrow. But let's take this lock here. If this lock were down here, it'd be as long as down to my butt. If it were up here, it's not going to be as long. So take that into consideration. But there are some challenges to having long locks, or some things that you want to just kind of pay attention to while you're on this wonderful, wonderful, beautiful journey. And the first of those things is when your locks are longer, it took mine about 5 years. It's different for everyone, but as they start to grow a little bit longer, they start to compress, okay? Which means they get tighter, they get smaller, they get kind of thinner in a way, because the lock compresses. As the lock compresses, it affects the volume. Now, my hair is already, it appears to be thicker than it ever was when I had, before the locks. Although I consider myself probably having a moderate amount of thickness. My hair was not that thick. But I will tell you, it's been growing wonderfully. Thanks to the oils that I use on my hair, it's been growing wonderfully, and I've been able to circumnavigate and circumvent a lot of the problems that I really should have had with my hair. But even with that, it is, because of the compression, it has dropped. When it compresses, it drops. Before my hair compressed, I had like a lion's mane. I'm serious. My hair, because of the texture of it, was kind of puffy, so my hair was more like this. Now, even though it still looks like it's thick, it's nowhere near what it would have been, which would have been unmanageable if my hair had stayed that thick. I don't know that, or had stayed that puffed up. So the hair will compress, which means you will appear to have less volume, but that's when you're going to actually see your length more. So that's kind of a double-edged sword, okay? The second thing is, as your locks get longer, you're going to have more weight. Now, should you experience a serious amount of more weight to where it's uncomfortable for you? No. Okay, the locks should still be light. If you are experiencing that kind of weight, one of two things is likely the problem. Either you are not washing your hair very well enough to get the weight of any products you may be using. If this is an 8-ounce bottle of Iron Melanin Magic, which is my magical growth formula, if you look at this, this has weight to it. This is 8 ounces of liquid, but if I put it over there on that scale, it's going to be about 10 ounces in terms of weight. If I put this on my hair and I never wash it out good, I'm going to be carrying the weight of this, irregardless, the weight of some of it, even if it's a fraction of it. Over time, whether you're using great products or not, everything is going to leave its footprint on your hair. So it's important that you watch to make sure that you're washing out very well, because if you are not, you are going to be dealing with more weight. Okay, the locks will appear to be heavier. So you want to watch out for the products that you're putting on your hair. Number one, if it's a heavy product, it's going to leave a heavy footprint on your hair. Even if it's not a heavy product, but you don't wash it out well, it's going to create issues for you. The third thing you want to watch out for is buildup. Now, I will tell you this, buildup can occur a lot of ways. And I'm going to talk from personal experiences, because the buildup that I have had in my hair over time has come from the fact that I'm an infrequent washer, but when I would wash my hair, I was not washing my hair thoroughly. I was one of those, for the first many years, I was one of those wash it one time and be done with it. Okay, I couldn't afford to be that and an infrequent washer. Because I wash infrequently, because of the stress of washing, not the stress on me, but the stress on the hair and the elements and all of that, I feel like people tend to wash their hair more than what is actually needed. We need to just kind of leave it alone. But so because of the infrequent washing, then I ended up having residue on my hair that I wasn't really aware of until I would use like a clarifying shampoo or do some other type of treatment, or just happen to stumble upon it. Most of the time when that happened, it was more, the lint that I would have in my hair would be more on my tresses. Buildup would be closer to the top part of my head. Not the top as in position, but the earlier part of the lock. Okay, which is most of the time where I put most of the products in my hair when I use them, when I wasn't washing adequately. And when you have Sisterlocks or Microlocks, it can be hard to get that out. Even with an apple cider vinegar rinse, it's still going to take a little bit of finagling in order to get that out, and you may have to work with the strand. It's different than with a thicker traditional lock. All right, these things are tight, especially once your hair compresses. So you want to be very mindful of buildup in terms of the type of products that you're using and how long you're leaving stuff in your hair, and then also with the quality of your washings, and making sure that you also periodically do use a clarifying shampoo so that you can strip the hair of anything, and that will also make it very, very light. This is something that you want to be super, super, super conscious of. The next thing related to that is going to be lint. All right, now because I'm in the light, I'm wondering if I do this, can you see? The best time to clean your hair out, to really see what you pick up on a day-to-day basis, y'all, is to do it when you're sitting in your car and the sun is shining, because you will see look at that, all the lint particles just coming out. And you're like, where the hell did that come from? Like, what is all of that? And we're not talking about dandruff, y'all. We're talking about little pieces of cotton that you can see all over the place. We are alive. Look at that. It's crazy. You got to take the time to shake your hair out every day. Whatever you don't shake out of your hair, or whatever you don't manage to get out of your hair, when you wet it, it's going to clamp on, or when you put oil on, it's going to clamp onto your hair. So take the time to be mindful of lint. If you happen to find lint, don't do like I did and just start picking and picking and picking. And because each time you pick, you see more lint, you keep picking, you keep picking, you keep picking until you don't have any part of the lock left. And then you say, what the hell, is too thin. I'm not gonna do restorative intervention. I'm just gonna just tear it off. What the hell? I can't stand to see a lock that's hanging by a thread. Whenever I go by somebody's hair and I see a lock that's thinning and it's just hanging, I'm like, what are they doing? Either take it off or repair it. And I'll go over some ways that you can actually repair those. that are way better than just snatching it off, which is what I have done earlier in my journey. But you know, satin caps and all of that's good. The type of thing that you sleep on is very good. But what people can really miss is you're going to collect so much during the day from your clothes and just being in the world and being outside and coming into contact with the elements, even within your house, anything that you may be doing in terms of cleaning, in your closet, going through clothes, whatever, fibers. People can underestimate the lint that you pick up, not just by rubbing your head on the pillowcase at night. It's really important to go through and just shake your locks out. It can make all the difference in the world, especially to me before these locks start compressing. When they're in the early stages of compressing, to me, it's easier for the lint to get in. And when they compress, it's going to be harder for you to get it out. So you really want to be mindful of that. The other thing, number five, I think, is the cost. If you think about Sisterlocks, and depending upon how your loctician bills and what her pattern is for how she charges, things have gotten much higher. This stuff is still coming out, y'all. Things have gotten much higher since I first started my lock journey. I paid $7.50 for my install. It started at $4.50, and for each additional inch, I paid another $50, I think it was, or something like that. It's pretty expensive now. And some locticians will charge you by the hour over the, say, 4 or 5 hour retightening average. Some will charge you per hour over the 3 hours. Some will charge you a flat rate regardless of how long it takes. Those are fewer and far in between, but will charge you as it gets longer, because the rationale is that as the hair gets longer, it takes longer to retighten. Now, I beg to differ with that, but I'm not the one doing the retightening, so, you know, I could probably put a sock in it. But I will tell you that the time it takes for Efraj to retighten my hair now is the same that it ever was. And y'all see how long my hair is. So that time that it takes to drag an extra 2, 3, 4, 5 inches through there is less than a second. It really is a fraction of a second. So it shouldn't add up to anything astronomical, but people will charge you for that because it's also more wear and tear on the body. It requires more of them. It requires more in terms of how they're positioned and whether or not they can sit over you or stand over you or whatever else. So that's something that you definitely want to be mindful of. By the way, I'm at about 6.5 weeks. I haven't been doing my I Am Melanin Magic Oil, so I have a lot less new growth than I normally would. And I don't really mind at this point, y'all, because my locks are long. Okay, but I need to be using it to keep them healthy. It was never for the length. It was for the health of it anyway. All right, so number 7. When your locks are longer, your hair gets caught on stuff. Okay, it just gets caught on stuff. And this, I think, is number 6. It gets caught on stuff, y'all. When I put my shirt on every morning, all of my hair is down in my shirt like this. And I can't just snatch it out. I've got to do like this, and then I've got to take it out. I've got to be careful. I have walked past things before on the wall and had a lock of mine to get caught. You have to be extremely careful. When I'm sitting, sometimes I will pull and part my hair like this so that it's lying here and it's not rubbing up against a chair or rubbing up against the sofa or something else. There are just a lot of little precautions that you have to begin to be more aware of that you don't think of when your hair moves with your head and your hair is maybe shoulder length. Where your head goes, your hair flows. But as the locks get longer, they do get caught on things, and most of what they're getting caught on are things like your clothing. When I put on my shower caps, when I pull my hair up into a ponytail, I have to be mindful of how I'm doing that because I've got to think of the long-term effects of being rough with my hair. So these are all things that you really have to be mindful of. Putting that shower cap on, is the way you put it on is just as important as the way you take that shower cap off. All of these things, whether you're wearing hats, whether you're doing bandanas, any of that, that's a major something that you're going to have to absolutely get used to, okay? Number 7 is thinning. And thinning is a huge topic to talk about because there's so many mitigating factors. There are a lot of things that contribute. There are a lot of things that are correlated to thinning, and then there are a lot of things that have a causal relationship. They actually cause thinning, and it's a pretty robust thing to talk about. In addition to the fact that it differs depending upon each individual and what factors are that they may be dealing with specifically with regard to the hair. But just generically speaking, the longer you have something around, typically the weaker it gets. The longer we're on this earth, the weaker our bodies get. The longer you drive on your tires, the more wear and tear. So in general, there's wear and tear that goes on as you continue and continue and continue through this journey. Notwithstanding your diet, the amount of stress you have in your life, the hormonal stuff you may be going through, the genetic factors that could be at play, the retightening quality, all of these, the retightening frequency, the way you deal with your hair, whether or not you put something in your hair to shore it up and to be preventive, which is critical. Like, I'm not using this to help grow. That's an indirect benefit. But I will tell you, had I not used this, I would have all kind of issues because I've dyed my hair a lot. I've picked lint and broken locks and weakened locks. Y'all know I'm a lot more careful now because I'm further in the journey, but it was nothing for me to just pull 2 locks apart like this to save time. I've been negligent, okay? Do as I say, not as I do, but not anymore. I'm really serious at this time. I've just learned too much in this journey that I'm no longer being haphazard and careless. Plus, I'm getting older. So I can anticipate, maybe or maybe not, that my hair will need more love, care, and concern. Okay, because sometimes the longer time wears on, the less resilient something can be. I want to be practical. So I do everything that I can to try to give my hair the extra nutritive benefit that it needs so that I can continue to feel good and my hair can continue to look good. But generally speaking, your locks can thin for a lot of reasons. And the longer your hair is means the longer you've had the locks in 9 times out of 10, which means you're prone to dealing with things that you might not have to worry about earlier in your journey. So these are the things that you want to be super mindful of. Okay. Also, go ahead and, trying to find, we talked about those satin caps and all of that stuff, which is wonderful, but trying to find really big caps for really thick locks. I had a lot of problems with that. Early in my journey, I was having a shower with 2 shower caps on, or have some of my hair out around here and just do my best not to get wet, or put on a shower cap and then wrap a towel that I didn't really care about and just try to get my face clean and not wet my hair. Finding really super jumbo size caps and things can be difficult. A lot of times you end up getting them off of Amazon through trial and error because it says large and it says jumbo, but it's seldom large and jumbo. 80-90% of the caps and things that I would get that would say large and jumbo, they weren't large and jumbo. And then I would get them on the line. I would be like, how's this jumbo? This is not even large. This is like what I would get from the little Chinese beauty supply store. Something that would fit the head of this baby doll sitting up there over there on the shelf. Like, how's that? So trying to find those things is easier, a little bit easier now because times have gone on. I've had these for a while. Things have changed. We have more of the products that meet our individual needs, but it can still be tricky. Try to find ones that have a long tail on them, okay, that allows your hair to lay down in it rather than having to pull it all up like this and fit it in, because that just puts extra wear and tear on your hair. And I'm talking about whether we're talking about a satin cap or even if we're talking about a shower cap. It really, really doesn't matter, okay? The last but not least is that your hair tangles more. Y'all, even though these are locks, they still get tangled, especially when you wear curly styles. I used to be able to walk around and I could get up in the morning and just do like this. And I could be done. And I was looking fly girl, a fly girl, fly girl. When they get longer, y'all, during the day, I can stop and do like this and my hair will be tangled. I have to untangle it. I find myself using my hands as a grooming tool at different points during the day, or at least once a day. They get tangled. It gets way more tangled when you have curls. The last Wrap-A-Lock tool, I think I use maybe 5 Wrap-A-Lock tools, and then I use the pipe cleaners. By the way, I need about 20 to 30 more pipe cleaners, y'all. And Beauty Coliseum, they've been out of stock for months. It's almost like you can't find them anymore. And I don't find that the ones you can buy from the art store are as durable. So if you know where I can get the pipe cleaners for the Locs, please let me know. But I do have another curling device that I recently purchased that I'm going to try in a couple of days. I got to get up and ride miles in the morning, so I'm not going to put them in the night because I won't be able to get them up and get them out before I get on the bike. But they're hard to get. I have not been able to get more over a period of months. Whenever I go to beautycoliseum.com, I always get an out of stock notice. So I'm hoping I'll still be able to get them. But when you have curls in your hair, it gets even more tangled. And you know, you do have to be careful. Like you really do need to be careful, because now, as I mentioned, the more they compress, when they're compressing, everything is compressing. So you have to be careful. You can't just be raking through your hair. You do have to take more time. And as you're untangling this, you got to go through here and just do like this as well. So you want to be kind and gentle and love on your locks. I hope that this video has assisted you in some way. If you have not purchased my Manifesting Your Masterpiece book and you're trying to manifest a masterpiece in your life, whatever that may be, make sure you purchase that book. It's a collection of daily mindset reflections that help you up level and live your best life. It is not a chapter book. I appreciate all of the love that y'all show me here on the channel. If you're interested in getting the I Am Melanin Magic line of products, by the way, the anti-aging serum is $2 for $65 right now, which is an excellent deal. Once you start using that anti-aging serum, you won't stop. It's going to be wonderful for your skin. And when you do stop and your skin starts to look dull again and you start using it again, it's going to be like you never use it. You're going to have a nice, invisible, almost like facial peel kind of an effect. It will help your glow. It will smooth out forehead lines and different things like that. It's going to help balance your skin, and it's really good for people who have had skin problems, who have combination skin, and who are just looking for something that will give them that radiant glow of health. There's also the magical hair growth serum. You all saw that when I used to do my retightenings, I had the plucked chicken look. I took a picture, and I'll show you in one of these other videos. I just got used to it, seeing that all of my scalp and all of that, when I would first get it done, and seeing this area in here that was very thin. Well, I started using it for a couple of weeks, about 4 weeks, I think. And I wasn't as consistent after that period, but it grew in. The fuzziness grew in, and I don't have that empty space that I used to have. And many of you have texted me about your success with the magical hair growth serum. Now, it is not a panacea. It is not a panacea, because I am not God. And neither is anybody else out here with the product. But what it does do is it helps your hair to regenerate itself, and it helps your hair, helps you to build the strength of your hair. And while it is not, I don't believe, gonna grow back a head full of hair where you've lost everything, if you have trouble spots in your hair, like your edges or different areas where you've lost hair and you've tried just about everything, it's really something good to try, because many of the women who've had success with that, and this, even though this was not created for that, this is very nutritive. Many of the women have been trying things for years and not had any success, and it's the magical hair growth serum that has helped them. So it may be worth giving it a try. I love y'all. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day, or beautiful week, or beautiful next several moments, whatever it is that you have planned for the rest of your day after you watch this video. Please be peaceful, prosperous, and productive. I love you. Make sure you catch that love, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.